Okay, so today I've come to the pudding burial mound, which is in Brockenhurst, just outside of Brockenhurst in the New Forest. And I'd seen this on the internet and I just thought I'd come and check it out. It is quite windy, so I apologise for the sound quality. But this mound is not really what I was expecting. It just kind of looks it just looks like somebody's dumped a load of sort of rubbish there and just shoved like twigs and stuff on top. Doesn't look at all what I imagined. It's really icy. It's absolutely freezing as well. As you can see, that is the water that's still frozen. Ouch. It's not a good idea to walk into brambles. It's weird because it's got a gate that's padlocked open. Normally it's padlocked shut. So why would that be then? That's a bit weird, isn't it? I'm not going to go in. It feels a bit disrespectful. Because it is, after all, a burial mound. I wonder why they've done that then. It's kind of weird. It's lovely out here, but maybe needs to be about 20 degrees warmer because it's absolutely freezing. But it's sunny, so we mustn't complain. About 800 metres from here, going in that direction towards those woods, is what used to be WW2 Airfield, used in the Second World War. And I'm doing some videos about that I'm still working on because it's taking ages to film everything and to find out all the information. But that's over there, so obviously this land would have been obviously a lot flatter back then. There wouldn't have been the trees as there are now, although you can still see evidence of maybe where obviously runways and things would have been, because there's a lot of areas that don't have any trees or bushes or anything, so it's quite open and it's quite flat here. And just in that direction is the Solent, and then you've got the Isle of Wight, and then you've got the English Channel, and it's actually not that far away. It's maybe, as the crow flies, probably 5 miles. So taking off and landing here in World War II, this was actually quite a prominent area for aircraft because it had such a great vantage point. I shall do a little bit of research onto this sort of strange burial mound, but I don't know why it's covered like that. If you go to the one at West Kennet in Wiltshire, it kind of looks more like a burial mound because you can go inside it, and it just looks more kind of significant. This here just looks as if it was almost like an afterthought, but then I can't imagine something as important as that would be. So I'll do a little bit of investigating and see what I come up with, and then add it on as part of this video. In the summer, this area is a campsite, which I should imagine is completely full up because this is such a lovely part of the south. So all these would have tents and caravans and everything else on. Okay, I'm just walking towards a structure that's pretty obviously man-made. A, because of where we are, and B, because it just looks too perfect, if you like. And I was just walking back to my car, and I happened to see lots of rather large branches. Oh, that's all wet there. I have to go around here. Rather large branches led up against a bigger tree. So those people who go out and look for the forest people, Sasquatch, Bigfoot, whatever you want to call them, that's obviously not made by them. Although it is interesting, why would somebody do that? Oh, this might be a bit wet here. It's interesting, isn't it? Why is that kids trying to make like a little tent or like a little wigwam type thing? But that's what makes anybody that makes these videos, as I do, going out looking for evidence, if you like, makes it harder when you see things like that, because you have to differentiate between man-made and not man-made. So oh, it's lovely, it's so peaceful. So you can see in the summer, you'd see why people would want to come here and pitch their tent or park their caravan. If that wind would drop, it'd actually be quite pleasant. Just coming up, two of my favourite animals in the world. I call these, my totem animal is the horse. And for those of you who don't know, your totem animal is kind of like your go-to animal when you kind of feel as if you need guidance or something. Horses and ponies teach us all sorts of things, and they're powerful and they're wise and they're hardworking. And these are wild, so I'm not going to get too close. And they're lovely winter coats. Actually, they're ignoring me, which is quite good. Sometimes they don't, and sometimes they will chase. I've had that before. But that's because I'm a human and I'm kind of interrupting what they're doing on their land, because it is their land. They've roamed this forest for 1,000 years, and long may it continue. It's me that's out of place, not them. Just come across this information board about, I touched on RAF Beaulieu earlier on, and it says here that it opened in 1942. The airfield played its part in the Battle of the Atlantic with both RAF and later Czech squadrons stationed here. Missions left to search out U-boats and protect vital supply convoys. In early 1944, the RAF flew Typhoons from here. From March to August, the United States Army Air Force flew Thunderbolt fighters and Marauder bombers, including missions supporting the battle for Normandy. From late 1944 to 1950, the site was used by the Airborne Forces Experimental Establishment to test parachutes, gliders and early types of helicopter. The site was returned to the Forestry Commission in 1959. At its height there were 3 runways, 2 hangars, ammunition dumps, tens of accommodation blocks and even a cinema and a gym. Many concrete roads and hard standings remain, as does the original water tower, now used by Round Hill Campsite, which is marked on the map with an X. Is that much? Where's the X then? It's interesting, isn't it? So you've got loads of history here, you've got a burial mound, and you've got an important site from World War II. So that's where we are. Here. And just over here was an officer's mess. In some parts of the forest, because I've been along to a lot of the old runways and former sites, there are actually the hard standings that still exist, and you can see where buildings would have been placed upon them, because the original footprint is still there, but obviously not here because it's a campsite, so they probably took it all away. But that would explain its openness and kind of vastness, because a lot of these places have to be big, don't they, because bombers aren't exactly small. So yeah, if you're down here or from America and you want to come and visit, I'd recommend coming here. It's great, but not when it's 3 degrees outside. I hope you've enjoyed this video and thank you for watching.